Deputy, smuggling of oil derivatives has shrunk by 80% in Iraq. This is also about the pending approval of the HCL. It is also about securing the borders. I think it is huge. They are securing the financial borders in Iraq. I was always told this would occur right before the revaluation. When you go to the bank to exchange, the US Treasury is going to fund the initial exchange for the bank. It is all electronic. The US Treasury will own their own dinar. These banks will then turn a profit with the US Treasury for being the broker in the exchange. It will benefit them to collect as much of the 30 notes as possible. The US Treasury will keep a certain amount of the 30 notes for interbanking and global trade with Iraq. Iraq has already guaranteed oil credits at so much a barrel. The US Treasury fully intends to also sell these oil credits at a profit margin to other countries needing the Iraq oil. I have asked my CBI contact multiple times on the fixed credit rate, and I got varied amounts from $30 to $35 a barrel. So, it is not like Iraq has to shell out trillions back to the US to cover the cost of the funds for the exchanges. Question: no matter who wins in the election, do you still think they will release the RV? Marks: none of my sources think that this is going to go wrong. They will be waiting for the announcement, then RV things are all going to rip forward. So much does seem to be waiting on the outcome of this election. But I continue to hear positive things. Iraq is moving forward with or without this election. They have paved the road and done their due diligence. I very much expect the announcement of Iraq and the WTO full membership ascension no later than sometime in December. Iraq is trying to be part of the international community. What's blocking it is the international community won't invite Iraq in if they got Hezbollah or Hamas in their ranks. We understood from the beginning they had influence from Iran, but if they comply, they can expand their markets. They're simply not doing that. These exchange centers, they are dealing in dinars right now. What they're doing is taking in the old 30 notes that we citizens have been holding onto for years, and putting that into the electronic platform. We have paper to show us what we have in the bank. It's the new electronic system. Frank, the reason for it is because those numbers at a flip of a switch will be recalculated with the new exchange rate and credited to the citizens of Iraq. Dinar matrices, you know very well what this means. The fact that they found a way to bring them in is just fantastic news. This just speeds it up. Oh, my new financial guru, here saying the new hybrid monetary plan will bring more reliance on the dinar instead of the dollar restrictions. Saying it will make the dinar a base currency, and a base currency is the main currency in a group of currencies that are traded in the international forex. He's saying they are going on forex soon. Frank, when they talk to you about a base currency, they are trying to tell you your nation will become a financial central hub with many currencies coming in from around the world that will play an important part in the international float of the Iraqi dinar in order to reach the real effective exchange rate. Forex is but one example of how they will do this. Shiite faction: Iraqi government will not allow Iran to use its territory to target Israel. Quote, the Iraqi government will not allow Iran to use Iraqi territory as a launching pad for any attack targeting Israel, according to the American newspaper, The Wall Street Journal. The Iranian plan for responding to Israel includes stronger warheads and other weapons, and that it may target Israeli military facilities more aggressively than the previous time. I can tell you with 100% assurance that things are moving. This is our week. One of the 7 big leaders of this movement told me this morning that it was happening this week, probably at least by Friday the 8th of November 2024. These new exchange centers were established because many Iraqi banks inside of Iraq were operating and acting outside of the CBI laws. So Sudani shut them, bad banks, down. Sudani all of a sudden started to reopen most, if not all, of his banks that he had shut down. Why? because he controls the monetary reform. Sadoni is the boss of the monetary reform with no interference from thievery, profiteering from political people like it always was. The U.S. Energy Information Administration announced on Tuesday that Iraq's oil exports to the U.S. amounted to more than 6 million barrels during last October. The administration said in a schedule seen by Shafaq news agency, Iraq exported 6,161,000 barrels of crude oil to America during the month of October, up from 5,970,000 barrels in September. She added that the average exported by Iraq amounted to 241,000 barrels per day of crude oil to America during the first week of October, while an average of 70,000 barrels per day was exported in the second week, and an average of 237,000 barrels per day was exported in the third week, noting that the exports of the fourth week amounted to an average of 216,000 barrels per day.